The location of the sickness is not in the mind. The location of the sickness is in the heart. The location of the sickness is in the heart. If the heart is straight, if the heart is doing well, then the mind will be put to good use. If the heart is sick, then the mind will use the heart for sick purposes. This is why it's important to be careful not to look at the haram. Allah Ta'ala, يَعْلَمُ خَائِنَةُ الْأَعْيُنُ وَمَا تُخْفِي الصُّدُورُ. He knows, okay, we have beard, we're looking real pious in Zakaria Masjid right now. He knows when we leave what we're looking at, what we're not looking at. Nobody of us is innocent. Anyone who claims he's innocent, he's the most guilty of everybody. Okay? Right? You have to be careful though. You can't be looking at haram things like we're looking at. We can't do that. We have to be very careful, lest what happens is that through the eyes, the heart gets poisoned. Right? You have to be careful what you eat. Right? I made kind of a light comment about HMC or whatever. This is one thing, actually the first time I met Maulana Abdul Rahim was not at the Detroit retreat, but when I came with Halal Advocates with Mufti Abdullah Nana in 2010. We met in the Darul Uloom in Berry. Why is it, I have like a degree from university and I went all these countries to study. Really, is like my whole goal in life to be a meat inspector when I came back? Why am I involved with this effort? Really, to me, I don't mind eating sushi for the rest of my life. Wallahi, I'm not the guy who's like, biryani. I really don't, that's not my thing, right? I don't mind eating vegetarian for the rest of my life. I know in the Indian subcontinent, that's like a real thing. I'm not a Hindu, how come don't make me eat vegetarian? I don't mind eating vegetarian. We're Punjabi, we eat vegetables. We're farmers, we grow stuff and we eat what we grow, right? I don't mind any of that. But it's not a solution for the ummah. The reason our maktab kids are like, I don't believe in God anymore is because the heart is crooked, it's stared out because they've been watching TV their whole life. The parents don't pray. People have been eating haram in the home. Nobody cares. The chicken is slaughtered by a machine. The thing becomes haram. It's a poison for the heart. It's poison for the body as well. But more importantly and more perilously, more dangerous, more scary is what? It's a poison for the heart. We've got to be careful. What are we watching? What are we eating? What do our private parts do? What do our hands and our feet do? What are we listening to? Are we listening to the haram? Because what is it? It poisons the heart. Once the heart is poisoned and dead, these types of like silly, fallacious, incoherent lines of thinking start to make sense. Why? Because the heart is the one whipping the chariot, right? The mind is a horse that does work for the heart. If the heart has the heart is not, it's not the physical heart. I don't know about the physical heart. You can go to a cardiologist to learn about that, okay? I know like, contracts, lub-dub and atria and ventricles and all this nonsense. That's whatever. I have some basic understanding of it, but it's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just like the human physical body has different tissues and organs, right? The spiritual body that a person has, the spiritual apparatus that a person has, what they call the ruh, it has different subsidiary organs and parts also. And the heart is a part of this ruh of a person, and it's the place where intentions are made. And if it goes wrong, then it will cause everything else to go wrong afterward with it. So we're commanded to prevent it, preserve it, protect it from going wrong so that it doesn't use the mind to do all of this silly and horrible things. The same mathematics, the same algebra, right? Sanusi is a famous Ash'ari mutakallim, right? He wrote a book on algebra. The same Sanusi wrote a book on the same algebra that the Farangi teaches, math calculus that the Farangi teaches. Sanusi uses algebra in order to find the Qibla and in order to divide inheritance questions, right? The Farangi used algebra in order to make atomic weapons. Now we have so much atomic weapons, so many atomic bombs between Russia, America, England, France, all of these knucklehead countries, right? The people are wonderful. The governments are knuckleheads, right? So much, tell me, they're like, oh, Shaykh, you're talking about the government right now. Look, we have so much atomic weaponry in these countries. By the way, we're not talking about Muslim countries. Look, Pakistan has a couple of like nuclear bombs. I'm not proud of that. As a Pakistani American, I'm not proud of that, by the way. All of my countrymen were like, we have nuclear bombs, balle. Bhai, what are you going to use it on? Children? You're going to use it on women and children, old people? What are you going to use it on? A'udhu billah. What's there to be happy about that? That's disgusting. We have enough nuclear weapons in the world that we can wipe out like 99% of human population in less time than it takes to deliver a pizza. Is that like something to use your mind for? Is that something to learn math for? Is that some reason to learn science? That's a type of sickness, right? The heart, when it's sick, it will use the mind for sick purposes. So when a person, they're like, like dying, their iman is dying, you can call him Maulana Saab, and he'll explain the whole, hajatu kulli makhluq lis-sani'i, etc., etc., just to, the defibrillator, clear, you like shock that dead person to bring them back. Ultimately, what is the solution? The solution is people have to have some sort of regimen, routine to protect the heart from all these things that are killing it, from all this rain and all this rust that's encrusting it and that's making it dead and impervious to logic and reason, and to impervious to anything that's good. That we don't be those people. La takunu kalladhina nasullaha fa ansahum anfusahum. Don't be like those people who Allah Ta'ala says, don't be like those who forgot Allah, so He made them forget themselves, that they have to wake up in the morning, look in the mirror and wonder if I'm a man or a woman. This type of death that happens once the heart is dead. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us so much tawfiq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us people who have correct belief and correct conception regarding belief, correct heart, correct mind, correct actions. The correct mind can't happen except for on the platform of a correct heart, and the correct actions can't happen except for on the platform of a correct mind and a correct heart. If the mind and the heart are correct, the body will be dragged by force. The same body that likes to, commit zina and sleep through Fajr and eat during the Ramadan, it will have no choice but to comply if the heart and mind are correct. And that body that doesn't want to go and burn in Jahannam, wal-iyadhu billah. If the mind and the heart are messed up, the body that doesn't want to burn in Jahannam, that body will follow the mind and heart all the way to the depths of the fire. Allah Ta'ala be our protection. Wa sallallahu tabaraka wa ta'ala wa sallam ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.